Well, we had a chance to catch up with Vic Edelbrock Jr. himself here in the world headquarters of Edelbrock Performance Industries. Good to see you. Thanks for talking with us for a few minutes.
Always good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Can you give us a little talk about the history of Edelbrock, your dad, and how this whole thing came about?
My dad officially started in around 1938. He decided that he wanted to campaign the Ford Flathead. And at that time, everybody was using the four-cylinder Chevrolet inline. Right. And the people just looked down their nose at him and said, that'll never work. Fortunately, it did. Just before the war ended, he moved into his first little garage. It was in Hollywood, below Sunset Boulevard. They had like a 6-car thing in the back, put a partition in the middle. So on the one side was a little tiny machine shop, and then on the right side, he would take care of his midget because everybody wanted to see some kind of racing when they returned from the war.
Well, your dad was a real entrepreneur. I mean, he was a good businessman.
Well, my dad was very ingenious in that. He only went to the 9th grade. The farm burnt down. His 2 older brothers and he had to quit school and go to work to save the family. He read a lot and he really understood the internal combustion engine. He was a man that came up with stuff like you wouldn't believe and make things run. I mean, he was a man that made the exact same stuff he would use on his race car, and that he would sell to you. And if you had a problem, let's find out your problem because I know it works.
So bring me up from when your father passed and you're a young man and you've got the responsibility on your shoulders. What were you thinking there?
Well, I just took my time and like the first year just kind of got my feet on the ground. Things just started clicking. One of the first milestones with Bob Cahill, he came to me and he says, here's this drawing and it's a 3-carburetor manifold for a 440. Make it. I said, well, can I change it a little bit? He said, no, make it. Wow. And that was our first manifold that we made that went on in the assembly line of a production car. In the late 80s, we got connected with Weber USA and we came up with a carburetor. That was another step of our power package.
Bring us into the supercharging world because now that seems to be the star of the show.
When you put supercharging and you do it correctly, you put it in a car and ours all bolts on, there's no drilling, grinding, welding, and you go out and you've added another 120, 130 horsepower and the torque to go with it. We're very, very fortunate that we have grown to that extent and we are very proud of it.
Vic Edelbrock, thank you, sir, for bringing us through your life in these years and letting us take a look into your world.